Good evening. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're all set recording and so forth. All right, roll call. John Hotchkiss here. Joe Bailey here.
Jim Knapp here.
Okay. Whoa, sign a few minutes here. First one is from August 26th.
I move that we accept the minutes from August 26th.
Okay, do I have a second? Okay. All in favor? I've read these already, so also.
Aye.
All right, minutes, Selectmen's meeting, August 30th.
I move that we accept the minutes from August 30th.
I'll go second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
The meeting for August 30th,
Yes.
what did that entail? It wasn't
This
a
is-
regular selectmen's meeting, so I was just curious.
That was the one on Friday.
Was it non-public?
No, it was public.
Okay,
It was,
all
well, it was both, we talked about interviews with police chief,
Oh,
okay?
Move to accept the minutes of September 3rd, 2019.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
opposed? Good,
Question,
yes.
are those minutes posted only after they're approved, or are they posted as drafts prior
I
to?
think the drafts are posted. Yes or no?
I wait till they decide.
Okay.
Yes, I second.
Oh,
and the 9/3 meeting was the swearing in of the new chief.
So if someone is misquoted and the minutes are posted and we have a disagreement, you can amend them afterwards.
yes. Right. All right, next piece is the Varga easement deed, a short note. Mr. Varga owns property at the end of Pleasant Valley Road, which is a public road. Up until recently, if you go to the end of the road, there's a place to turn right to a structure, I'm not even sure it was a house or a garage, but it was down there. That went up, and that's where the plows turned around. There was enough of a space near that building to turn around. Mr. Varga owns the property now. He does not want the town plowing up to that structure. He's hoping to keep people away from there and out of it, out of easy access to it. That left a difficult, if impossible, place to turn the trucks around, short of coming way back to his driveway to turn around, but then that leaves the last, I don't know, a couple hundred feet of Pleasant Valley Road unplowed. So, an arrangement was made where there's room now to turn around. Has anybody been down
Yeah, I
to see it? Okay, describe it.
Just before that structure, they're gonna take and cut some brush, fill in a 50 by 50 foot area, use about a 30 by 30 foot area to turn around. The other 20 is a place to push the snow in the winter time.
Is this before or after the little body of water that's there?
Probably after, it's just before what will be a gate. The only Mr. Varga asked for was a gate to block off that structure.
But we'll plow before the gate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And he will have access to the gate since it's on his property. Okay.
I was down there with Ed, and it's about all you can really do.
All right. Okay. I know at the very end of Pleasant Valley Road, there's not much space there at all
No.
to even turn a car around, let alone, a big truck with a plow.
Right.
Okay.
In dead of winter, once you get the snowbanks, that's why they wanted the 50 by 50, even though that thing's big, it's not gonna be in February.
Right. Alright, so, Kathleen, what's an easement do? Allows us to go on it?
Yep, it
Okay.
allows us to go on it,
Any money that we have to pay?
nope,
Usually not with easements.
nope.
So we're good, alright.
Will there be any ongoing maintenance for that section as cutting brush or fill or anything like that?
I'm sure there will be, I'm sure there will be. The only thing you did ask was for the gate. We just put one at the cell tower site, so it's pretty easy. I think it's still a good deal.
Joanne, I liken it to the turnaround on Silver Street. We back into what looks like a road going into the woods, there's a gate back there somewhere, but we plow it, we maintain it in that, we make sure that's a place that can turn around. I don't know if the buses turn around there or not. They used to turn around on Old Tate Lane, but they might not be welcome there anymore. So anyway, I envision the same setup, okay? All right?
A motion?
Yeah, please.
Make a motion that we enter into an easement deed agreement with Joseph A. Barger at 110 Pleasant Valley Road for the purpose of snow plowing.
I'll second.
Any other discussion about why we're doing this? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right. All right. Before we do the title for the old ambulance, Chief Lawrence, want to talk about it for a moment, how things went and what we're gonna do with it and so forth?
Sure, so the bid went to West Ossipee, Center Ossipee. So.
And Ossipee.
One of the,
Part of New Hampshire.
yeah. So once we've got the title, so once we get that squared away, find out who it's gonna be made out to for the receiving town, we'll get that signed, we'll get it, we'll meet up with the chief and, do up, some sort of a little press release and.
Okay. The old ambulance is already empty of all equipment.
Correct.
Okay.
The old stretcher is not going to work in our new ambulance.
So it's going with the old ambulance?
Yeah.
Okay. How about printing on the signage on the ambulance itself? Is that coming
That
out?
would be up to you guys to, if you want to take it off, I would put it in the agreement that it has to be off within, I don't know, a week
By whom?
by them.
Them, okay. Anybody familiar with the signage? Is it easy to take it off?
It's vinyl.
Okay.
You can take it off with a hairband.
Okay.
With
You don't care about any other, words, I don't know, stay back 500 feet or anything, it's just the word Middleton.
yeah, we'll just make sure the
Okay.
little thing gets taken off of
All
it.
right.
Have the radios been taken out?
No. They're 17-year-old radios.
They're no use to us anyhow, right?
Nope. And whether they can still be reprogrammed for them or not, who knows?
They're no value to you.
Not at all.
After we accept the bid, which you already have, and sign the title over, I think we should still have a bill of sale,
Correct.
which we'll at least agree to tonight. If it's not made up, we'll have one made up and have it signed. Then will you coordinate efforts to contact them, have them come down, whatever press release you want, or, you know?
I've been texting him tonight to try to find out who we have to sign that title over to,
Okay,
because it's gonna be the town of Ospey and then a
and
designee.
you'll contact Kathleen with that so
Yep.
she can finish it?
Yep.
And Kathleen, you can find a blank bill of sale online or someplace?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Any other discussion? Everybody knows why we're doing this. Okay. We do not need two ambulances, and the old one is just that. How will they use it?
It's gonna be like a backup for them, so
Are they
in case.
busy enough that they might possibly run two ambulances at once?
Well, right now, I think it's, they run a private ambulance company up there. So if that-
Stewart's, isn't it?
is it still?
Care Plus.
Care Plus.
Yeah, plus, okay.
So if they're out with their ambulances, instead of having to get mutual aid, this one will just serve as a backup unit.
Now, if Middleton needs backup, can we call?
They've already been in contact with us.
Okay. All right, any other signatures?
Yep, the ambulance, so you, I didn't know if it was, I don't know, you're the chair, so I'm assuming you're gonna have to, sign.
Yep.
I already printed your name, I just, you have to sign next to it. Or assistant.
Either Kathleen or the chief, whoever found this, thank you. Any idea how old the ambulance is?
2000.
The 2000, so somewhere, this title has been sitting in the desk drawer for 19 years, and we still found it. I didn't find it, somebody did.
Not me.
Okay, so. How many signatures?
Just one.
Okay. And you'll take care of everything else.
Yep.
Good? All right, that's it for signatures now?
That's it.
Okay, old business, before we do all the town, department reports. Anything between you, Jim, or Chief Lawrence? What's it? What do we have?
On the fire department addition, all the trim work got completed today. The roof is, I think they got a little bit of ridge work to do, for shedding water. The interior wall, everything's cut, it's just gonna be put together. If they come in tomorrow, they'll day. We still have to think about grading out there. I was gonna talk to Ed, see what his recommendations were. It's coming along. The next step is gonna be electrical. I'll have a bid put out probably by Wednesday. Put it out for a week and then see if anybody comes in.
Are we gonna do anything as far as a walkway in between two buildings?
Well, that's what I was
Because-
gonna talk to Ed, because eventually all that tires out of there.
Right,
What can we do for an interim? Still, winter's coming.
Right.
I don't know if we wanna pour the apron.
okay.
It's sort of gotta be coordinated with the asphalt.
Yeah,
So interface some hard packing, yeah, for winter. Will get us through.
yeah. I'm more worried about between the addition and the trailer.
Let's see what we can.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty easy to do, I think. We'll come up with something once all the stuff is cleaned out of there,
Yep.
all the construction to do.
Yeah.
See what happens, yeah, whatever works for you guys.
Yeah.
Basically, you gotta run it, so.
Joanne first, and then Jim.
When we get it completed, can we have a ribbon cutting ceremony?
Oh, yes.
You'll see
It's
that's
gonna be a big
regular.
thing.
And
Yep.
then will you take those signs out of our basement?
Yes.
Overhead door.
Overhead door's been ordered from Seacoast Overhead Door in Farmington. They're the same people who do the maintenance on the highway garage and fire department now, so it just worked out. And actually, they donated your numeric controller, so it works. Keep everything sort of local. And that's about it. It's slow going, but it's slow going. Not much you can say.
This topic came up during the construction of the addition, and I think it's still a topic worth looking at. Security of the building.
Mhm.
Fire on Saturday night. Doors left open? I don't care about the heat, but with the fire department doors left open after the equipment left.
I don't know.
Okay,
I didn't hear anything about it.
okay. If they were, somebody should be, leave someone behind, or somebody should close them. There's a lot of valuable equipment. No pipes are gonna freeze right now, but there's a lot of
So
equipment.
were the doors left open?
That was the impression I got.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Who ended up shutting them, you know?
I didn't see them, so.
I'll be honest with you, I went by probably several hours, but the fire was going on.
Yep.
Not that Tam and I just happened to be going down this way,
Yep.
and I knew something was going on, I just didn't know where it was, whatever, and the doors are open, we come back about 2.5 hours later and they're still open,
Okay.
so.
Which bay? Which
All
bay
three of
was it?
them.
All three, okay.
Well,
I mean, it was wide open. I mean, unfortunately, there's all the valuable stuff like that, I mean,
Right.
just gotta be careful of it, I guess.
Yeah, all right, I'll make sure I have a talk with the company.
Good, cell tower. What's up, anybody talk about it?
We're waiting for the final array of antennas to be put up. But if you can see it from back there, that's the tower, it's up. So I'll put all these out, or do you want to pass them around?
Just pass them around.
Sure.
Take the whole thing and I just pass them around.
All right. They're in somewhat of an order. If you need any explanation, although most of the pictures are self-explanatory, the installation of those sections was something, each section being in excess of 40 feet. And the lifting of each 40-foot section, and then trying, with the wind blowing the top section, trying to get it seated. And then, of course, once it's seated, it drops about 6 feet. So the gentleman who's aligning it with ropes, trying to put it on there, has to stay below that 6-foot section, because there have been accidents where someone wasn't out of the way when it came down, and they don't come apart once they're together. Jake is the one with the belts and the straps in the picture, and climbing all the way up to the very top of that and making sure that the array was set so that they had pictures for the engineers to the different 4 quadrants, northeast, south, and west. So he had to climb all the way to the very top of that structure to take the pictures for the engineers. And someone's going to have to go back up again when they lift the array where all the mounted equipment was dropped down over that. And you could probably tell a whole lot more about it than I can.
You about covered it all.
From a
kinda-
civilian standpoint, it was a really, really impressive procedure.
I don't understand why they didn't put the antenna array up, or they had a crane there, but it's different crews. Now they'll bring a crane back to lift the array up. RF guys will come in. So there's a whole sequence. Even once the RF guys go away, now the engineers are gonna put it online. Who knows how long it's gonna take.
One more interesting specimen of pictures is the truck with all wheels off the ground, because it was up on stabilizers, so that they would have the power to lift it that tall. Not that each section was that heavy respectively, but the piece of equipment lifting that weighed 120,000 pounds, was it? 120,000 pounds. And the operator of the crane actually had a tilt-back seat, because when you're looking up like that, it's a lot easier if your seat tilts instead of having to crane your neck just to see where the guy was climbing. It's really impressive.
You were a lot more observant than I was. You just watched a tower go up.
For those of
It's
us
your
that-
first one, though.
For those of us that have been following this all along, during one of the public hearings this winter or last summer, a crew went around and took pictures of what you would or would not see of this tower. And they're right. If you don't drive up Ridge Road, it's very hard to find that tower at all.
You can see it from the top of their mountain.
It looks like it's sitting right down in a big bowl.
How much of it do you see?
You can see the structure.
The last 10 feet or the last 50 feet?
Oh, I don't know.
Can you see where
The
it
top
hits
of
the
it.
ground, or?
No, the top piece.
Just the top.
But down on the ground, it looks like it's sitting in a big
Right.
dust bowl.
Right, okay.
And just as an aside, I would say Roger Maines was really super instrumental in getting this to this point in our town's development.
Right.
He has not been well the last couple of months. I think it may be some of the his dizziness may be due to some of the medications he's on for his diabetes and things like that. But and he's not on Facebook. So please, if you can look up his address, if you want his address, if you want to send him a note, give him a call. He could really use any kind of positive feedback that we can give him. I'd appreciate it for myself.
I thought it was a good thing that he was there.
Yeah, he was able to stay there for part of it.
Yeah.
Janet?
What is going around this for fencing?
Chain link fence.
How tall?
That I couldn't tell you off the top
The
of
reason
my head.
I ask is I'm seeing here that pretty much you've got steps along the side of it, those metal pieces. The kids,
It'll be secure.
okay?
Would you like to see them? I saw what she posted on Facebook.
All right, next item. We have interviewed several candidates for the job of assessing clerk and deputy administrative assistant secretary for the selectmen. Sierra Parnell has been chosen, and I think, Kathleen, you said she's started in and
She's doing great.
good.
She gets along great with
Good so
everybody
far,
here,
good.
and great personality,
Good, yeah.
hard worker.
Okay.
What was the name again?
Sierra Potnell.
It's on there.
Oh, is it on here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
She will serve 2 days per week as the assessing clerk upstairs, unless a customer cannot go upstairs, then she'll come down. 1 day per week assisting Kathleen, and she'll be in the office with Kathleen, all right? I'm ready for department heads. Did I miss any other old business? Okay. Here we go, town clerk, tax collector. Dum, dum, dum.
There's not really much going on, she's got her report.
Okay. New tax bills go out, it's either November or December. How are we with the last set of tax bills, which should have been what, May, June, somewhere around there? Are they mostly paid, somewhat paid? Which one?
Somewhat paid.
Okay. But money hasn't been coming in?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we have people who are, obviously making some payments on.
Okay.
It's just a breakdown of where it came from.
Okay.
That's-
And we have registered dogs, right?
Yeah, we've gotten our list down to 35, I believe.
Right? Oh, that have not,
Have
okay.
not registered.
Is the animal control officer working with you?
Yes.
on that?
Yeah, we get together a couple times a week, go over everything.
Just a general, he's heard it already, it's not okay if he's talking, just a general thought for fundraising, okay, just a show of hands. We register dogs. Should we be registering cats?
No. No.
Alright, never mind. Okay, gentlemen, all right? Okay. Alright,
We've
If
been
we-
full-time ACO.
actually, the real moneymaker, cats are nice, there's probably more cats than dogs around, but the real moneymaker is if we start registering the inhabitants of an ant farm. Yes, okay? All right, police, please.
Speaking of,
Our new chief, everybody knows.
speaking of finances,
Yes,
you need to advertise the bulk pickup, because I think there's some people in town that need to buy some stickers and get rid of the stuff that's on them.
Yeah, quite a few of them, in fact.
I'll add that for bulk pickup on the new business. Okay, everyone knows Chief Cooper? Okay. Now, for those of you that happen to be on the school board, having anything to do with the school, we've had different elections since the new building's been up. I don't remember your name being on the poster board for the school after you were
Oh, I'm
elected.
a little insulted, but
Okay.
okay.
Kathleen, I don't remember seeing your name up
And they
there.
know me over
Yeah.
there.
Your name's
You
on
get-
the other
Oh,
side.
that's right, yes. I'm gonna have to ask them.
Some of you ladies just got elected back in March, nothing.
They're on the other side.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so Chief, welcome aboard. What do we have for reports?
So the month of August, we investigated 41 incidents. Had one arrest, which was mine for a domestic violence simple assault. We made 57 motor vehicle stops and happy to report 0 accidents in town, motor vehicle accidents. So we've been out and about trying to keep the speeds down as much as we can. And
The chief is far too humble. So, anybody associated with the first day of school, particularly the morning first day of school? How many cruises were out?
2.
two, I
Yep.
guess one on each side.
Yeah.
And apparently at one point, Chief Cooper and former Chief Sobel each had a car stop at the same time.
Without the lights running.
And I think the word gets up.
Yeah.
All right,
Trying to
what
keep it
else?
safe.
Anything else?
That's really it for the stats for August. Any questions on the stats?
Yeah, where have you been since school started? You have been? Where?
I've
Oh, you've been in school.
been, yeah,
All right,
I've been in school.
okay, chance to meet all the classes and
Yep.
thank you. I mean, it's only been a week and you're already in there, that's good.
We need to go visit the school,
He's
so
been
our
in
names
there,
are
though.
Right. Okay, fire please. But, any words about the, I guess it's called the Pond Road? Anybody even know what Pond Road is?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, everybody else? You know where Access Road is? Dunkin' Donuts, down in Union, okay? That road goes right into Middleton, and I think it's the first left off it.
It is.
Pond Road, is there in fact a pond down there someplace?
Yes.
Way down.
Way
Way
down.
down.
Small fire, big fire?
Yeah, it was
Who
great.
helped?
It was a good fire. We had mutual aid coming from Rochester, Milton, Farmington, Wakefield, Ospey was up there. The poor family was gone.
Two-story house, one story?
Yeah, two and a half story house.
It wasn't the yurt, was it?
No,
Yeah.
that would have been oof.
That's my husband was asking. There's a
Um,
yurt down there.
But
There's
unfortunately,
one further up too.
they basically lost everything.
How do you get all the people down here?
Right, I was
That's
gonna
a
say,
very
did you have
narrow
issues
stall
getting-
place.
It was, we had one engine in the driveway, but when we got it up there, the fire was coming out of the windows and, Captain Bordeaux was worried that it was gonna cut the power lines. So we had an engine back up, but we were able to get one engine in there so we can get lines in, and then other engines could just come up, fill it up and just keep it on a rotating basis.
Where'd you draw water from?
They got, yeah,
Wait, went to Wakefield.
yeah.
Cause I was
It was-
at Irving, I said.
Well, Wakefield has hydrants, so.
Yeah, but no, but I mean, you must have had to go fill the truck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah,
they
it
went
was-
to Wakefield to fill the truck.
Wow. Well, they have hydrants, so I guess you could fill from a hydrant.
Right. Yeah, I know
Otherwise, you'd
from
have to
there. I
draw
saw 'em
off
coming
of-
from Wakefield.
Probably.
And without the dam being there, that was one of the best water
Yeah.
sources around, but.
Probably pretty clean too, wouldn't it?
So, and unfortunately, yeah, like I said, they
All trucks out, and the ambulance.
yeah, everything, it was, they put a good stop to it. Just so happens that Wakefield was out in that area for smoke investigation. So they were already in the area
Right.
when the call came in, that it was confirmed, so,
Did you get called back up the next day to it?
yeah,
Yes, I thought.
Reignite.
yeah, it was a rekindle.
And that was a family or,
Yeah.
I mean, permanent resident though?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
So,
Go ahead.
So we, EMS calls, we've had 86. Fire calls, year to date, it's 86. I'm working on getting you more of the information you guys have requested for breakdown.
Mhm.
So for the month of August, we had one structure fire, which was at Pine Ridge. Smoke alarm, one trees on wire, one smoke investigation, one grill fire. We have 2 new members that have already, their background checks have come back, so they're on the department. Captain Griffin passed his National Registry exam, now he just needs to, a couple for his EMT. So now he just has to do a couple more things for the state. Structure fire on Pond Road, the lights have been done on engine 1 and the thermal imaging camera have been wired up. Engine 1, we've got to look at it, but it might need a new set of tires for the rear. Those are, I think, are the original tires that came on the truck, and they're starting to wear, and they're starting to crack on the sides.
Dry rot.
Yep. We'll look more into that. We've got an EMS conference coming up in the North Country. I'd like to go to that. There's been a few other members that want to go up to it. EMS, lockers for the EMS for the new edition.
we had talked about that a little bit. Try to get something that, it's a new addition, let's get some new lockers, metal lockers that look good. I was on a site tonight, you're looking at anywhere from like 1,500 to 2,000 for 9 lockers. And those are 15-inch wide, 18-inch deep metal lockers that'll last a long time. That way they can keep a raincoat, winter coat, change of clothes, whatever inside of them.
All the bunker gear?
Well, it might hold bunker gear, but EMS doesn't really use bunker gear all that much, so.
Are they closable? Are they a door on it?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like the lockers you got for bunker gear right now?
Correct. Yeah,
That's sort of what I envisioned in there.
yeah, no, yeah, metal lockers that are closable. Yeah, so,
And we made the addition wide enough for an ambulance, walk around the ambulance and still put lockers in.
correct, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
did something right.
Not a lot of real estate
How
here.
the hell that happened?
Surprise. Okay, anything else? All
Nothing.
right. Anything from conservation? Kathleen?
Yes, no, I'm sorry,
No, okay.
nothing. No, nothing at all.
Are you in conservation now too?
Apparently.
Code enforcement,
He didn't have anything.
okay? Cemetery, I keep bringing this up, but at some point, somebody, I know Roger's not feeling well, but at some point, there has to be some direction given what people want at the March town meeting. Do we want a town cemetery? We're not required to have one. We have already made arrangements with other towns that will accept people from, deceased from Middleton. So, if we want it, do we put more money in? There's not enough to do what we're right now. It's Janet, 15, 20,000?
Yeah, about 15,000.
Okay. Or do you want a warrant article that will redesignate those monies to someplace else? Okay? We'll not decide tonight, but we need to decide before the March meeting. I'm trying to get a feeling from the people as to what they want. Okay? 15,000 wouldn't do much more than some tests for a possible site. I've heard estimates of easily 100,000, 150,000. It's not just a place where you can dig. First you have to take the trees out, then you have to take the rocks out, then the soil has to be suitable for digging and putting caskets in, vaults, right, Joanne?
Well, it doesn't make any sense for this town, the expenditure that would be involved not only in creating a cemetery, but also in maintaining one.
Mm-hmm.
So I would expect that there would be a warrant article suggesting that, or asking for a vote that we not have a town cemetery. And I think it's also been discussed that we really don't need any agreement with local towns involving any expenditure of funds.
That's correct.
So the only remaining thing, in my opinion, to decide would be to what to do with the $15,000.
Although other people have expressed an interest in having a town cemetery because towns have cemeteries, but there's a huge expense. You know, it's,
There's already been a hue and cry when we put in the school list to the tax rate.
you're right.
If they're willing to pay the extra taxes, and there would be considerable expense, as you said, $100,000 just to create it,
Right.
at the very least. And then you've also got to buy the equipment to maintain the cemetery, you've got to have someone to design the cemetery. There's an awful lot of additional and ongoing expenses that would not be a moneymaker for this town.
Right.
John, is there any state help for that?
None that I'm aware of. I would be quite surprised.
Is that
if
something that could be taken from like the state revolving fund to help build it?
Possibly, I'm not aware of any, but historically, the state's been rather hard on giving much money away. I don't know. Worth checking into, but only if there's interest in having one,
Right.
okay? And to piggyback on what you said, if we're not gonna have one, what do you do with the money? Does it go general fund? Does it go a specific purpose? Okay? You can't just say dissolve the money, you gotta say where it's gonna go to, right? Janet?
I think it would be fiscally responsible and prudent to disband the capital reserve fund for the cemetery. It's not just clearing the land, it is maintaining it, it is opening up the graves, closing the graves, you know, maintaining, you know, the lawn and, you know, what have you. And I think that there's just gonna be a very big investment, which is gonna be a burden upon the taxpayers. So I would like to piggyback on what Joanna said and close it. I don't know if I would put it back in the general fund, and I don't know if the DRA would have directives for what happens to, you know, a capital reserve fund once it's been.
You can repurpose it.
That doesn't go to the DRA, you have to go to the Secretary of State's office for that.
But
I
it
don't
can
know
be
that
done with a warrant article, just, I don't know what people want for where to put it.
But that's something you have to check with the Secretary of State to see what you can do with it. But the DRA does not control capital reserve funds.
Janet, I think we're saying the same things. I'm sorry I used the wrong words, but I
Okay.
just think that, you know, piggybacking off of what Joanne said.
No, I understand
I think that, you know,
Yeah.
that it would be prudent and not to have more of a burden, you know, upon the taxpayers.
When I was young and foolish a couple of years ago, I thought it would be worthwhile to repurpose the highway garage building fund into remodel the existing highway garage. And I was thoroughly shut down. Okay? At that point, there were many loud voices saying, we want a new highway garage. Well, that was then, and this is now, and I guess things have changed. Okay, yes?
Oh, no. Do we have, well, one suggestion I guess I would have is, do we have a capital reserve fund for our current cemeteries we have in town?
No,
We don't?
I don't think so.
No,
Are
those are
private?
private.
They're all private?
They're all
They're
private.
considered private? Oh, okay, all right, so never mind then.
And those were established by private funds,
Right,
and
yeah.
I guess the town quasi maintains the funds, but I don't think we do any work on them, do we?
No.
No,
We don't.
Do they ever ask for money, Janet?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
I got a question.
Yes.
Should the town do something with the private cemeteries?
no,
They
no, they
No.
can't.
Okay, I guess that was my question.
They're, technically, they're not even cemeteries, they're private grave
Private
sites.
burial plots.
So you
But
did,
they
bury-
can
you
be
bury out
fixed
back
in
of the
the money.
swamp. No one left it in.
Yes, yes.
Don't do it.
Yes.
Joanne?
If your concern, if your concern is about what the townspeople would like having done with the cemetery fund,
All right,
and your concern is also what they would like to do with the money, should it be able to be repurposed. I don't know the feasibility of it, but when the tax bills go out, a flyer to go along with that, asking people to voice their opinion,
so
that may open a can of worms you don't want to do with.
as the budget committee starts having hearings on the upcoming budget, and eventually the selectmen get involved, I hope there's somebody that says they wanna do something with it, okay? Yes, the budget committee submits a budget, and we submit a budget, but we really like to hear from the townspeople is what they want, okay? All right, next, assessing.
Oh, kind of me. Well, from what I can see, we got a couple BTLAs back.
Oh, what's BTLA?
Board tax
Bureau?
appeals.
Bureau
So,
of Tax and Land, where's it located?
Concord,
It's not Bureau, it's Board.
board, yeah.
Right, it's in Concord. It's the next step up if you don't like the way you've been assessed,
Correct,
not by the assessing clerk, but by Avatar. Okay,
as an assessor. So we have three came back to us. So
okay.
we're filling that paper, me and Sierra, I'm teaching her how to do that.
So we're not voting tonight?
Nope.
Won't be ready,
No,
okay.
because what we'll have to do is we have to fill out specific paperwork, we send it back to BTLA, and then they determine whether we're gonna have a what do they call it, settlement meeting in order. If we don't, if either they're gonna yay or nay it type thing, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it for assessing pretty much.
Now, Kathleen, this year, is this the 20% year? They assess 20% of the properties? We just had the
We
big.
just had the whole, so it would be this year, yes,
Right.
coming up, summer.
Okay, all right. Animal control officer, how we doing?
Good. So I had 11 calls for August.
Wow.
Doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. We had one complaint about an aggressive dog. One call about a dog bite, which, excuse me, Chief Cooper. I have to train myself to not.
It's okay, right?
He was the officer at the time.
It's okay for now.
You
He
just write that down.
assisted me. Well, there goes that.
Bad shot.
I know. I'm fired. So he went on that call with me, but we ended up having to kind of run around, and actually Chief Lawrence was part of helping track the dog down with me, because she kind of bolted from the house. Had 2 welfare checks on animals, just concerns for their well-being. One that I'm still working with the owner. He's been very compliant, so, and I can talk to you further about that. 5 loose dogs and 2 calls involving some cats.
Are they registered?
No, it wasn't Tammy's fault.
And they all say they're innocent.
Actually, that's how I know where Pond Road is, because I've got one that frequents my house in the neighborhood that keeps running over, so.
All right. Teresa, with this many people, I'm gonna put you on the spot, but I'm pretty sure you already know the answer, but the chief does. Does Middleton have a leash law?
Yes, they do.
I thought we didn't. We do?
The state, as far as I know, the state of New Hampshire
Oh, maybe
has,
the state has.
which we follow just the guidelines of the state, which requires you to either have your dog under control by
Right.
voice command,
Right,
which means when your dog has to recall back to you,
right.
or your dog has to be tethered, whether it's, you know, a leash or it's, you know, whatever. But yes, they cannot be running out in the road, they can't be running out in the street chasing anyone, anything like that.
It is the owner's responsibility to keep the dog
Yes,
Under
under
Contained.
control.
Right.
Okay. All right, that's it. Thank you. I don't think the highway.
Highway
Oh,
one.
wait, go ahead, Joe.
Didn't you help assist, was it last month, the month before, on dog licensing as well?
actually Janelle and I have been doing it for the past
But you're
couple
working
months.
on that with them?
Yeah,
'Cause usually it's never been, it's always been the town clerk's always done it.
yeah.
But you have a personal hand in taking care of that.
Right, because we've, out of Janelle, and I don't know if you know the number, I know we're at like 450 or something like that registered. But there's, at this point, other than the gentleman I'm working with, there is a total of 36 unregistered out of all those, which to me is very good. And I know Kathleen had a lot to do with that last year and trying to keep up. I'm getting a lot of more people tagging me through Facebook when they see anything, being more aware that I'm available, and also finding dogs that have not been registered that I'm not sure if anyone's done it intentionally or unintentionally, what have you, but I've got some names of people that I'm following up with in that situation too. Because everybody, I mean, it's really not that expensive, honestly. What is it? Like the most expensive is $6.50, well, $9, yeah. But typically, everyone's dog is $6.50 as long as you do it before April 30th. And we have the rabies clinic in the spring, usually in March, and I spread it through Facebook, letting people be aware that, you know, it's a cheaper version, and the town hall's open the same day to be able to go over and register, so it's not that it's unavailable and not possible.
Nice of you. working together. Thank you.
Well, it's nice that we have an ACO officer who's not just like intermittently, once in a month like that, you see him whatever, or the police is taking care of it. It's good that you're really involved, basically full-time in a very part-time job, so,
Yeah.
thanks.
Thank you.
Teresa, this is not really your domain. It's more of fish and game, but do you hear about bear sightings or coyotes or?
I do, and I mean, honestly, and this is, I'm not speaking for the town, I'm speaking as just a person.
Right.
I try to tell people to think about where we live and you know, have a little bit of education as far as the bears are going to come around if you leave your bird feeders out. The state of New Hampshire even advises, Fish and Game advises, that you shouldn't have anything out. I believe it's, and I know they changed it last year, I think it's the middle of September or the middle of October to the end of March. That is the only time that you need bird feeders out. The birds can survive perfectly fine in the spring and in the summer by themselves. It's more in the winter. But that's a lot of the people that I hear, oh, I saw this bear in my backyard. Well, typically it's because of garbage, it's because of food being left out and what have you. So people have to be a little responsible themselves, that if they don't want, I mean, we live in a wooded area. We have fox, we have coyotes, we have bear, everything. You know, we have to be understanding that they're going to wander through, that the bear really don't want any more to do with us than we do with them. I've had them at my house, I ran out, hey bear, clap my hands, the bear runs off.
Without naming names, is it at least possible that some people leave their bird feeders up in the hope of seeing a bear?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
There was a woman in Ossipee that was on the Fish and Game show, and she was feeding the bears.
Intensely,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
feeding them on
Yeah.
the porch.
Saw that episode too.
Put them off on the porch.
They weren't,
Yeah, no, but.
they weren't happy with her.
No, they weren't.
Uh,
Jeff says, what happened?
Watch that big ovation, yeah.
You get on your porch?
John, there was something for highway, I wanted to let you
Heels
know.
and support.
Okay. Go ahead.
He just wanted to let you know that he is still having a hard time getting the mower,
Okay,
and you would know what that meant, so.
yes. Typically, the town hires a mowing machine, some sort of tractor with a brush hog in back, that will mow 5 feet off the road and keep the brush down near the road. There are other mowing machines with an articulating arm, but the mower will go up and trim some of the higher brush. It seems that every town wants them at the same time, they're hard to get.
Yeah.
At some point, it might be time to talk about getting a machine, but I don't know if it's right now or not. Yes.
Could I respectfully request that anyone who has tin cans, aluminum cans, plastic bottles and things around their front lawn, that they maybe, in the ditches, that maybe they could clean some of those up before you guys get the brush hog running through there?
Yeah.
I've seen people, I'm not naming names or addresses, but when you walk to your mailbox and there's a soda can on the street, 2 feet away from your mailbox, it should be reasonable that you could bend down and pick it up.
Yeah, I agree. You've probably seen other towns cutting their brush, okay? So, we're trying to get one that we can rent and get ours done, okay? All right, zoning, I don't know. Janet, you're the secretary. I guess you're the only officer. Do you want to talk at all? We had one case. I don't need the particulars, just,
Yeah, we've been meeting almost monthly since March for variances, and the last case was on Pinkham Road for an addition for a garage we put in. And they came with their blueprint, and they came with their neighbors' approvals. They actually came with their neighbors, you know, and they all supported. Each person that came before the zoning board had a lot of support, and I don't think that their zoning requests were so wild that it was going to ruin the peaceful atmosphere that we all live in. It wasn't gonna ruin the neighborhood, it wasn't gonna impact the traffic flow, it wasn't going to be in violation. Am I correct, Mary?
Correct.
You folks, as the voters of the town, enact ordinances as have been submitted by the planning board. If someone wishes to do something that's not in compliance with the ordinances, they go to the zoning board and either ask for a variance or an exception. 5 members of the board meet, discuss it, we often have a chance to view the site, neighbors are called in, registered letters are sent out to all the abutters, and then a decision is made. After the decision, either the owner or the abutters or anyone else that's so inclined has up to 30 days to appeal it. I think Superior Court, I think is the next step, okay, beyond what we do, all right? But we've been fortunate so far, no unreasonable requests, what I call pretty much ordinary, is move a little bit closer to the lot line, but it's not like someone's asking to build a garage in the middle of a residence, okay? That's good. All right, Treasury. Everything ready or not yet? We've been talking about new programs. So.
Well, we talked about new programs, and I finally had to go to the bank today to get the statement.
Right.
There's nothing coming through on the emails.
Okay. Kathleen, do you know anything about, is it the problem with our emails or the problem with the banks?
No.
They have the right emails, and it's good that they're just not coming to us. Like she said that I'm on the email list, SSBK, and I have not gotten a
It was in Laura Parker's name,
Right.
so now it's in my name with my mailing
Right.
address upstairs. So next month, if I don't get it by the 4th, I will go to the bank and get it again.
And I don't know if you've had a chance to talk with Kathleen, but I have. She has contacted the auditors to see what they recommend for various programs to have everybody working together. And the person who can help us is out in the field auditing other towns. But you'll get together with email or something.
Yep.
Health officers, John Lamone. Whoops, I'm sorry.
There was a lot of discussion at one of the previous meetings about discrepancies and not getting the information, so
That's been
I've given to
resolved.
understand then that it's an accounting procedures
That's it,
difficulty,
yeah.
not anything that
Right.
can't be corrected by
That
getting
is
some
correct,
proper
yeah.
procedures
Yeah.
for.
Nice meeting with the selectmen and Marcia, the deputy treasurer, and Sandy, the treasurer. Kathleen was there, and much was resolved, and we're now looking forward to coming together, so that's good, good sign, thank you. Health officers not here. I guess the biggest concern would be EEE, Eastern Equine Encephalitis, I think. But it's more in southern New Hampshire and not us, okay, so we're good so far. Joe, planning board,
We have a meeting this Thursday,
what's cooking on planning, anything?
just doing some updates to the book.
Okay,
Gonna change some stuff on some wording that was missed on the previous meetings, and they're looking at some more of that ADU stuff that's coming up.
what's ADU?
Accessory dwelling units.
Right, okay. No big developments in town? You'd hear about it first.
No, nothing.
Okay.
The solar farm down here for Middleton Lumber, they're gonna have a ribbon cutting, some kind of ceremony that got postponed, whatever. We're gonna do it at a different, later date, so.
Okay.
But other than that, there's not much, so.
Joanne?
The ADUs, what was the ADU?
Accessory?
Dwelling
Okay,
units.
so that's the little homes?
No.
No?
No, it's
All
like
separate
having an
like that.
apartment.
And we have discussed tiny homes, whatever they call them, whatever, 'cause we have nothing in the town planning for that. So we're looking at outside of town where people do have it, to maybe see what we need to have,
I
so.
thought those were illegal in the state.
So-
Something never passed so that they had them in the state.
I just don't, I don't know this for, I don't know how this works, but if somebody decides to do a tiny home in town, can we stop them or not stop them? I don't know.
The impetus for ADUs comes from the state. It's not even you folks deciding. The state decided for you that as many families get older, the elderly people would like to stay in their homes, but they can't afford to. If they could rent out a room or a wing, that's the accessory dwelling unit, and it would help them to stay in their own homes. That's the impetus behind it. There are some people who say, wait a minute, home rule says the town of Middleton should decide. The town of Middleton did not decide this, decided for us, okay?
That's like in-law apartments.
Exactly.
And you don't have to be related to the family that owns the home. But the family that owns the home has to live in one of the two apartments.
Right. So it could be a mother-in-law, it could be a friend, but you're right, the owner has to be
In one of them.
somewhere
On
in
the
there. The
premises.
bigger section, the
Right.
smaller, it doesn't matter.
And the ADU, it has to be attached to the existing structure, has to be a certain size, everything.
No, you're wrong there, Joe. You can have a separate dwelling,
Right.
but it's still considered an ADU. That's in the law.
Like a garage?
Like an
You said-
apartment
Well,
or
like-
a garage?
Right. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly.
Yep, exactly. Does not have to be attached.
Right.
Planning board in this town.
Marcia, without getting into your own personal business, but you deal a lot with real estate.
I do.
Are you seeing, outside of Middleton, you seeing a lot of ADUs?
Oh, a ton.
Okay.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And they are successful and they're,
Oh, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. And most of them are set up for the reasons that you spoke of.
Right.
It's generally because maybe the parent can no longer do all the work associated with a big home. And so maybe the children move in and they make an apartment for the older person, or
Right.
maybe the children make a mini apartment in their own home and the parent moves there. We see it all the time, constant.
so surprised it hasn't hit Middleton, or maybe it has.
It has,
Okay.
it has,
Good,
yep,
Probably more than we know.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
yep. And lots of times it's a garage with an apartment,
Right,
and it does not have to be an overhead apartment.
right.
So it can be an extended building garage, so that the back part of the garage is actually a mini apartment.
Is there a minimum square footage?
Not to my knowledge.
It's in the law.
Yeah,
Is
I
it?
thought there was,
Yes.
but it was pretty small.
It's either 628 or
Right.
800
Yeah,
or
that's-
something, yeah. I
yeah.
think it's 628.
Okay. All right, thank you. EMS, anything going on?
Covered all under fire.
Okay, good. We're all waiting to move that ambulance, but no missing mirrors yet?
No scratches, no nothing.
All right, welfare.
I'm doing welfare checks on the, couple elderly,
Okay,
residents that we have where it's cold. So I had one meeting last week with one of them, and then I had a couple this week, just to make sure they're okay, where they're at, what they need,
thank
because
you.
it is cold,
Right.
coming sooner than later. So that's, other than that, they're just, it's been pretty quiet,
Time.
Yeah.
yeah.
I am pleased to say that there are some elderly people in Middleton who are too proud to ask for help, but there are other residents of Middleton who volunteer their time to help. I think you've done it, I know Roger Maines has done it, okay, and I suspect other people sitting here have gone to help a neighbor, for which I thank all of you, because it's what should be done. There's people that are less fortunate, and if they can get their furnace working again, Joe, thank you. If they need some electricity done, okay, you know, it's, and I'm rather guessing that Jim has helped people in his profession, okay?
Roger Mames and Roy Stewart have both supplied cut and split firewood for
Yeah.
people,
Yeah,
even to the point of delivering it.
yeah, very nice.
I also have one more thing, sorry.
Yep.
We're gonna be working with the school too, for the holiday, the Christmas gifts. Ms. Kerouac is going away on maternity leave. So as, welfare, I'll be taking
Right.
over that aspect
Okay.
for the school, of the presents and like what the kids need.
Mhm.
So that will be coming out on the website, just so you guys know.
Thank you.
Start giving.
Emergency management, chief. Oh, by the way, I'm pleased to say that, I'm sorry, what was his title again? Chief
Now we're gonna leave
Cooper
that
has
down.
offered
So he's getting the notebook out again.
has offered to stay on as emergency management director. All right?
That was at 7:29.
Extra tickets.
No.
Been there.
All's quiet?
All's quiet.
No statewide conferences? You went through some of those last winter.
Yeah,
Okay.
they haven't had any yet.
Yeah.
It's coming out in November.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, folks? Usually it's Governor Sununu or whoever's governor at the time. Head of the emergency management, used to be Plummer, I don't know who it is now. And the state police probably sit in the same room in Concord. And every town can call in and say at high noon and listen to the three of them talk about the upcoming snowstorm. And some people can ask questions if you're brave enough to, but mostly you just listen to what's available and what's coming up and what they expect for snowfall or ice storm or whatever. It's pretty amazing that so many people can call into one line. I mean, as a child, I remember party lines, but I don't think this is quite the same. All right?
Pretty big one.
All right. Okay, school board. Anybody? Anything
Not too
going
much
on?
of anything going on. Our
Okay,
meeting's tomorrow night, so
okay, 6 o'clock.
just
Okay.
watch
All right. Smooth opening, as far as you know. Smooth opening of the school. Yeah, good. Good. Okay. Thank you, and I must say, it is a pleasure to have so many department heads here. It's very nice to, it's not only good to hear your report, but I think it's good for you folks to listen to reports from the other aspects of the town government. It's nice. Okay,
John.
new business. Oh, yes.
I have a question for
Yeah.
anybody in the room. Does anybody here know how to knit hats?
I do.
Yeah, I do.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Look at you.
When I was growing up, the elderly woman up the street had a pool table. And we all wanted to shoot pool, okay, whatever. But part of it was, we had to sit down and do one of her little projects before we could play the pool table. And she had us all knitting. Seriously.
Well, I've made 30 scarves for the school again this year.
Oh,
But I need
thank you.
hats to, I've been doing it since the school opened.
Yeah.
Didn't Debbie O'Toole?
I'll try crocheting,
Yeah.
but I don't knit.
Well, I don't care, knit,
can-
crochet,
you can
so
have
long as they're
crochet,
hats.
yes.
I've got the scarves all made, they're all flannel. But I need hats, and I have
Deb
already
did that
gotten
hats
gloves.
last year.
Who did?
Deb did.
Debbie O'Toole.
Yeah.
I gave some to
Yeah.
Okay.
Laura
Tina did too.
myself.
Laura.
Do we have any for this year?
I haven't done any knitting in a while.
It's gonna get cold pretty quick, so
You know.
get your knitting needles out.
None of it.
dollar store.
I know you
yes,
like
to
it,
work,
that's about it.
Sandy, the idea is very good, thank you. On my occasional trips to Dartmouth, in the waiting rooms, other people have done the same thing. Free hats,
Right.
knitted by
Yeah.
people.
Right.
Very nice.
Have Darlene put it on Facebook.
Oh, I never thought of it.
Joanne?
Yeah.
I know it's a committee,
Yeah.
but
Crochet?
we haven't had this particular topic on the list of department heads, the recreation committee.
Oh.
You guys are always doing an awful lot, but I would like to report something for the recreation committee. We had some electrical work done in our house by Raynone Electric. And when we took the cash out to pay him and asked him how much the bill was, he said it was $125. And instead of accepting the money, he asked that we put the $125 in the scholarship fund. So here's a letter for him, and $125 which will go into the scholarship fund. And I'd also like to ask that every family at least give $1. That's 300 families in town. That'd be another $300 so we could put towards a scholarship. First year, the recreation committee gave $750 to a student. Last year, we had 2 exceptional applicants for the scholarships, and we were able to give 2 $350 scholarships. I'd like to do at least that much, if not a lot more, in years to come. So please, pass the word, help us out. Remember the fund.
Thank you, Kathleen. You think could you add recreation committee to the list?
Definitely.
Okay, new business. I've got
I've got a
a couple here, but Janet, you're on.
I don't drive it now.
I have an issue,
No, don't mind.
and it involves the 2 fire calls for Saturday and Sunday.
I know we had 2, but I know
Well,
there was one.
Sunday was the same, was a
I promise.
redo of what happened Saturday.
I've got a call tomorrow.
There is no reason for a firefighter to come barreling down Dudley Drive, siren blaring, and I mean, he just was like a bolt of lightning that went by my house. I'm not the only one to make the complaint, but I don't make them online, I'm bringing them to you. There was no reason for it, we had that a few years back with Lon Berry. The only firefighter we've ever had up there we didn't have a problem with was Ryan. But this can't continue, we have a lot of kids on that street, and this is still technically vacation time. These kids are outside playing, he would never have had a chance to stop before hitting somebody.
Duly noted.
I was made aware of that tonight, I'll take care of that tomorrow.
Thank you.
Can I ask you a question on that? What is the law on
There
firefighters?
are state standard rules.
I want the chief there.
So,
Or
my
this
understanding,
chief, either one.
right, my understanding is that we can exceed the speed limit as long as it doesn't endanger safety.
Still have to drive with due care.
Exactly.
But there's no speed, like I've been told that you'll only allow like 10 over this supposed to speed and like that. There's none of that? Okay. That's why I'm asking, because I didn't think so either, but I wanted to verify, so.
The operator is still responsible for whatever happens, so they have to drive with due care and caution.
There was no due care and caution that
And
Saturday or Sunday.
It's more than just where you live. Anywhere on any street in Middleton that has houses, there could be kids outside,
That's right.
okay? So,
I'll address that tomorrow.
Thanks.
all right, a little history on this next topic. Before we started building the firehouse addition, there was concern about trying to paint the old town hall. Work was finished last year. We put out for bid that paint the old town hall. Nothing. Not a single person responded. In the meantime, we now have a fire department addition that's, I think it's T111. It needs to be painted. I contacted a person who some of you might know, George Surratt. Grew up in this area. He was not available during the summer because he was busy in Alaska with his painting service up there. I guess he lived in Alaska for like 15 years. I had a chance to talk to him. He has some interesting ways of a painting job. Some of them he has to fly into. He's there for a week painting someone's house, and he gets flown back out. Okay? That's not the case here. I did ask him to submit 2 separate bids, one for the Old Town Hall and one for the fire department addition, okay? There is a concern about money for the Old Town Hall, and maybe you have an answer for that. And Jim, after we hear the bids, could you give us some idea whether you think there's money left out of the $65,000 for the fire department addition to perhaps get that painted before snow flies? Okay, Kathleen, what do we have?
So we have the fire bid and you want fire both at the same time?
Just separately, but yeah.
Okay, so
do
that's the
both.
fire station.
All right, Jim, if you wanna-
Yeah, fire station bid. Can't even see it.
Do you need my glasses?
Preparation. Caulk trim fascia corner boards, large door casings. So it sounds like all caulking, trim will match old fire station, so this is just the new addition. Zero Williams exterior finish paint, primer, oil finish, oil primer, 2 coats of paint, finish coat, doors 2 coats, exterior finish, semi-gloss. So this is only the addition.
Right.
His price is $4,200, $3,000 for labor, material $1,200.
Is that within the realm of possibilities for this year, that amount of money?
This seems high, but let me do a little research first.
Okay,
Because I had another offer. Ken Anderson, Banner's chief seeing it, is willing to do the paint job on the fire station if we buy him contractor's insurance at about under $800.
okay,
That's why I don't want to make a decision tonight,
okay, but
because that's been thrown back and forth.
we all agree that we've got September and maybe half of October. After that, it's gonna be
It's got to be done.
cold.
right away.
Okay, all right, so certainly that one's on hold. All
Let's
right,
put that one on hold for a little bit, but not discount it.
right,
Just there's other things in the works too.
it's good to know that we have the money.
This one's the town hall, the old town hall, sorry.
Old Town. Preparation, remove any loose paint, clapboards, trim windows, soffits, caulk all cracks. All top windows reglazed where needed, prime finish coat, 15 windows. Finish coat, Sherwin-Williams, actually it's solid stain. 2 coats on all clapboards, trim, labor foreman, total is labor $8,000, materials $2,000, boom lift $3,500, and we didn't add it all up. 13,500.
Good.
To me, that doesn't sound bad.
All right. The person that is talking about the fire department painting, are they also talking about that?
Yeah, same thing.
Oh,
Same person.
so we're gonna hold on both of them.
Yes, this seems good, but I got another price of $27,000.
Whoa.
To do the old town hall. I just got on the phone and said I need me out there. He's trying to make $1 million.
Your salary, one
To go
job.
by, yeah.
So there was I guess, may I throw the question out there? Is there criteria we have to follow because it came under, we got money?
L-chip.
Yeah, the L-chip. So just, does that have to be taken into consideration when hiring the painter?
Boy, I don't think so.
I don't either, but I just
No.
wanna throw it out
Very
there.
Probably worth the question.
Right.
Okay, I just wanna throw that out
Mhm.
there.
We had questions with the firehouse addition,
Yeah,
so many feet. There's a lady, I forget her name, but I'll find it.
yeah, I just
We can
wanna
certainly
throw it out there
check that
before we
out.
hire
Thank you,
somebody and
Mary.
then find out.
Oh, you didn't use right color paint.
Yeah.
I can get
Uh,
another
yeah.
approval.
Kathleen,
Yes.
some ideas as the townspeople voted a budget that did not include money for painting the old town hall.
That's correct.
So any ideas where we might,
So I believe, I don't know if you got the same idea or not. I believe we got from New Hampshire Retirement System, we got I thought it was 13,000, but I couldn't find it. I think 13,500, no, I don't know exactly what the amount was. But it was up there from, the state to us that we could do that.
any restrictions on how we can spend it?
Not on
Does it
that.
require a town vote?
No, it does not.
Okay, so we could do this.
I will get you the true amount of what we received from the,
Verification.
verification of it first.
All right, but we'd certainly like to get it done, okay? I don't think there's anyone that's suggested it not be done, just finding the money. Yes, Marcia.
Can I ask, just, I don't know, where do you post when you put something out to bid? Because I have to be truthful, I never saw a bid for paint, not that I'm gonna paint it,
Right,
I'm not even gonna put in a bid for
That's a
it,
good question.
but I've never seen,
We have to post it in the
Okay.
newspaper, Foster's. And we also posted out
Yeah, I can't
here.
afford Foster's anymore, sorry.
I don't know about the painting bid, I think there's.
And where
one,
do you
but
post it? In Foster's and
Out here. Yep,
And
and
usually on-
I usually she'll put it on the web law.
I was just gonna say, is there
It's
any
supposed to
reason
usually go
that
on the
these
website.
bids can't be put online somewhere too?
They are.
They're
You
on
do
the
it
town
on the
website.
town website like that.
Yeah, on the town website, the painting bid, I believe goes
But
on.
unfortunately,
I don't know, I
the town
missed that
website is
one. I
not
never
easy
saw
to
that
go on the town website, so. But-
Yeah, I missed that one, I never saw it, so I'm just checking to find out where.
So,
Yep, so town website, Foster's, and then usually out here.
Okay.
so the money that we're talking about for the retirement fund, apparently for a number of years, people who's involved in it, like the police department like that, for a number of years have been overpaying into the retirement fund, because the town was given some miscalculating numbers to use to make that happen. So the state found the error, and they went back and they reimbursed the town of, all the towns that overpaid, as well as the individuals who overpaid. So at one point, we had like $28,000, but a lot of that money went back to police officers and other people who had refunds coming to them because they overpaid out of their paychecks.
Did they
into
pay
the
it
fund.
back with interest?
Of course. So, but that's, so after all the employees that were overpaid were taken care of first, the balance of that money came to the town. So that's why that's, so.
All right, Jim, we have a problem. This is the second Monday of the month.
Houston,
16th is the third one, there's no meeting. As soon as we could come back to vote on this is the 23rd. Either of you recommend that we get some answers and decide this before then, have a special meeting, okay? Because if you wait till the 23rd, there doesn't get much time left to actually think.
no.
What I was gonna suggest is, let's decide on the old town hall, because that's gonna take him, because he'll tell me how long it's gonna take him, it's that case in a couple of weeks. That may work out to go right across the way.
Okay, what about the other person who's in?
Well,
Submitting?
if we can save $500, I don't think that's worth the aggravation, I think it's worth paying a little extra, just get it done. But let's get it started on the old town hall first, before we make this call. We've got a couple of weeks for this one.
All right, so you're saying decide tonight?
Decide tonight on the old
Okay,
town
so
hall.
now I need some
At least,
discussion from you folks. We're talking now about painting the old town hall. The grate boards are already primed, but there's some scraping to be done. There's probably some loose wires that need to be put back where they belong, okay?
Go for it.
He will have to rent a lift. Most painters today try not to spend days going up and down ladders. Lift is much better. All right, so I heard one comment, go for it.
Absolutely, get it
All right.
done.
Anybody else?
We're still waiting for that to get finished so we can have a grand opening and have the governor and all that kind of
Right.
hoopla around here.
Is that the last thing to be done on the town
I
hall?
believe so. I mean, the
So
inside is
total,
working.
Tony.
I sure as heck hope so.
Well,
I wouldn't say the lats.
pretty much.
It's a-
It's
an old building.
It's an old building.
You know how old
It's
things
gonna
need
take
lots of
continual-
maintenance, Tony.
All
I
right,
can't say it's done, I'm never gonna touch it again.
all right, Janet,
Who are you looking to give it to? I'm missing something here.
This painting job?
all right,
Yeah.
Oh, the bid.
The bid.
the bid.
On the one you got now?
I have two bids, but right now we're gonna wanna vote
On the town hall.
town hall from
And
George
that's 13,000?
Surratt. Where does he live? Milton Mills? Milton?
13.5.
Yeah, okay.
Where does he live? Here.
I'm looking at it, I'm trying to.
Left top.
Milton.
Lives in Milton, okay? I have seen his work, I can vouch for his work, okay? So, I don't know, I heard a couple of yeses, anybody else? If we can get the money from here,
There's always a cemetery fund.
yeah, that wouldn't be until next March. Janet?
You know, this project started in 2014. I think it would be nice to wrap it up by 2019 and not go into the 2020 season.
Correct.
It's gonna take them 5 years, that's it.
Okay, more, anybody? All right, I'm ready for a motion.
Move that we accept the bid on the old town hall paint from George Surratt,
Okay,
a $13,500.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor? Aye?
Aye?
Opposed? All right. Who's gonna contact George?
I'll contact.
Okay. Good, because
You've done this much, might as well contact
it
him.
might spill over into,
Well,
The
that's
other
what I
one's
said, I
wrong.
want to see if this whole thing works, if I can
did
save
you get that?
$1,000.
That word spill over? Pretty good.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe,
All right.
maybe if he
Want it
gets
white.
both jobs, he'll give a discount
That's
on
what
the
he's
second.
gonna work on.
John,
Yes?
is he the guy that's looking for you to pay his,
No.
No.
okay,
That's
the other guy,
That's
okay.
why we're holding off on the firehouse, which is a much smaller.
But then let me ask the question, I mean, I know you've already voted on it,
Yeah.
but let me ask the question now. If he knows that he could possibly have the town hall to do, is this gonna screw up what you want for the fire department?
Right, you need 2 separate bids for that reason.
Okay.
We'll get to know each other anyways, you know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
vice versa.
All right, next topic, without getting into the particulars. The officers downstairs in this building have the ability to contact the police in the event of emergency, called a panic button. I think there should be panic buttons for the people working upstairs,
Absolutely.
okay? I'm not sure why it was never done upstairs. Jim has offered to contact the electrical aspect of it. How does it, you push a button here and somehow it gets to the police? Okay, I'm not sure how all that happens, but I think considering what's going on in our country, it's a good idea. I mean,
It's a no-brainer.
yes, the police are downstairs, however, the police are not always downstairs. We cannot afford to just have a policeman sit there all day waiting to hear from something up here.
We're too loud up here anyways.
Hey,
So
wouldn't be
we
able to
are
see it.
horrible.
But I just think for everybody that's up there should have access to it. I mean, you're up there, do you agree? I mean, that's a
Me?
lonely place up there. Good?
No, it's not. Good God, no. But if you wanna do it, go ahead and do it.
Right.
But no, it doesn't bother me at all.
It should.
No,
As a
but
matter
just
of
the
fact-
concept that it's,
This door has a special lock on it for that reason. We paid to
Yes.
have that installed.
And-
And nobody closes the door, which is exactly what I told you at the beginning. Nobody's gonna close the door, so,
We've also come into the situation and pulled the parking lot that this door is closed, but this one's wide open.
I know, I've
Or the one
seen,
upstairs is wide open.
I know, I've seen them both open, so, yeah.
Don't get it. We spend the
Do you
money
have
to
a-
keep people safe and
fob to open that door, this one right here?
No,
Oh,
never
should.
have.
I
No,
don't, well, I'm just finding that out, I think they all should.
no,
Everyone's
we had
upstairs.
to ask, the town clerk to
Yeah.
push the button to let us in,
No, I think you should have your
Robert
own.
downstairs.
Joanne,
which,
All due respect, Marcia,
yeah.
you may have all the doors closed, you may have a client go upstairs and you're working with them, and all of a sudden they decide to do something
I
absolutely
know,
insane,
I
so.
know, that's what I'm saying.
We want you
It's-
safe.
Yeah,
Okay,
You're much too
so-
valuable to lose to some nutcase.
yeah, well,
does Kathleen and Jim, you'll follow up on that?
I'll
Get
get
it.
a chief Cooper and figure out how it all works.
All right, my last item.
you remember Chief Cooper.
excuse
on
me,
the board.
Like the staff, that's
I
right.
just gotta
Thanks,
throw one thing in.
Yeah.
I don't know where you locate the button up there,
52.
I do,
Oh, I would
but if
think,
I'm at my desk over, or at the treasurer's desk over in that corner, and the button's over here somewhere, do I excuse myself from the madman to say,
well,
I gotta go push the button?
I can tell you downstairs there's separate buttons.
Yeah, okay.
So are you envisioning separate buttons?
I was gonna talk to the ladies and see where they sit.
Do you know how many desks are up there?
You're gonna give me a tour.
You know, John,
Yeah.
you know where that button is down here? You can get in anyway, I know where the button is.
Okay.
And as short as I am,
All right, so, last item. Bulk pickup is coming October when?
11.
Kathleen, do we have a supply of stickers?
We sure do.
Price?
$5.
Okay.
Unless you guys wanna change it to 20, but
Okay.
But
the
The-
Janelle will get yelled at.
the two freebies go out each year with the December.
December's, yeah.
Okay, all right. That way it's available, and if you have old ones, they've
Do you
not
have a
expired.
list of what takes a sticker? Like,
Whatever doesn't
Wait a
go
minute.
in the garbage can.
wait a minute, because I called or asked personally 2 years ago, and they said a table and 4 chairs
Correct,
takes 1 sticker.
correct.
A mattress and a box spring takes,
Two.
no, I was told
Two.
takes 1, and I threw them out that way, and it took 1. Wait a minute. But a table and 6 chairs takes 2 stickers. So, I mean, people don't know this. They really don't. And if you only get 2 stickers a year, and there are 2 pickups, you've only got 1 shot to put something out
You're right.
for each pickup,
Or pay for it.
Or
pay for it. Right.
So,
I'm just saying,
on top of that,
I hear this all the time, that people want 2 stickers with each tax bill, and then they're
see,
okay.
I was informed that if the box spring and mattress was tied together, 1 sticker. I don't know if that's true or not.
I was
Then-
told
then
each
on top of it-
appliance, each small appliance
When we went over
takes
this.
1 sticker.
That we don't know.
However, I have found that if you take a reasonably good-sized box, you can get 3 or 4 small appliances in that box and put a sticker on the outside.
So we had a public meeting last year about this.
yes,
So it was a dining room, 6 tables in a dining room set was 1 sticker.
6 tables.
6
I mean, sorry, 6 chairs. Sorry, it's been a long day. And then you have a mattress and box spring was 2 stickers.
See, now that
And then
doesn't make
anything
sense, because
that-
they go together, I mean,
But
you
anything,
know?
I know, I get it, but anything that fit in a garbage bag in a 30-gallon did not need a sticker on, so it was tied and didn't have like paint in there or anything
Right,
like that.
right,
Did
right,
not
right,
need a sticker
right.
on, so it fit in a 30-gallon bucket.
Has to be a 30-gallon trash bag, tied, they'll take it with no sticker. And have as many of those as you want.
As long as it fit in that 30-gallon bucket.
That's a
But it
30-gallon
just
trash
felt
bag
like
and a
metal
30-gallon
lighting in
bucket,
there, yeah.
okay? 30-gallon,
Okay, but I
30-gallon.
get
I
it,
don't
like
care how
a
you
couch or a
slice it, that's what it
mattress
is.
or something like that, I understand.
I don't know why it was the
What I
dining room
don't
6
get
chairs, I don't
is
know.
Probably, but-
mattress and box spring are not.
One of the other problems we had, we also had a certain driver who decided to make the rules up on his own. As he went through, we were told one thing, and he would come by and say something else.
Just buy extra
So,
stickers and you're
so I
covered.
think basically, maybe,
$5,
maybe,
$5.
I
It's
think,
not
maybe again,
$100.
we should probably invite Steve LaChapelle and Chris Kanker up here and just make sure that we're all on the same page again and that their drivers are on the same page.
put it out on the
I said,
website.
I
or
said,
even,
get a list
handout.
maybe from them.
Yeah.
And we-
And
and then what
just-
we can do, we can have
Website.
a public meeting like tonight, and if you have questions, you'll see it and you'll come ask questions.
Okay, Joanne, you got a question?
I was just going to say that the stickers, 2 stickers does not seem like a lot, but then again, 4 stickers means that I'm paying for extra stickers for someone else to
Yeah.
unload their large stuff.
Right.
The whole business of having stickers in the first place was to give everybody a fair break, and yet not make the innocent non-users of stickers pay for the
Okay.
large bulk items for
High
somebody
five on
else.
that.
So I'm fine with 2 stickers,
Me too.
and I don't even use them hardly, so.
Thank you,
okay,
Marcia.
so
I get, I'm trying not to do this, but I have to. I'm in real estate. You sell a property mid-year, and the 2 stickers have been used by the previous owner, and now the new owner has things that they
They
found
come in.
left or whatever.
Nope, they can come in for new
Can they
stickers.
come in
Yep,
for a
we
new-
have a new,
For a new owner
like
can get
a
stickers.
sheet, new
Okay,
owner,
all right.
new resident, like little
Okay.
pages,
It's
like,
kinda like a
and
welcome,
they will get,
a
yeah.
welcome
because that's
packet.
what they were saying, you know, they didn't get stickers, what
As
do
long
they
as
do?
they were
So,
not here on the
okay.
December bill,
I got it.
you know,
Okay.
so, yep, they're
Great.
more than welcome to come in.
Okay, all this stuff needs to be somewhere so people know.
It is online.
You know,
Yeah, for
I
new
haven't
residents,
seen
yeah.
that.
Okay,
So-
Joanne,
There's also a situation on Ridge Road where the owner is out of state and someone else is living in the residence. And there is a stack of 4 or 5 mattresses right near the edge of the road. And I don't know, the tenants even know about the sticker process, because I'm sure they do not participate in any way in any of the town functions.
it's up to the owner.
It's up to the owner, and I tell you right now, I have to sit there and get told, if they get down there, if they don't pick them up,
Well, I'm
Get
thinking
them
that,
for littering.
Alright, I wanna add 2 cents worth about how other towns live. In conjunction with the church in Union, there's a building across the street. I happen to have a truck, and I'm often asked to go to the dump in Wakefield. Every item that we would consider bulk, you pay for. You get weight going in, you get weight going out. There are no freebies. You go there, once you pay, you go 12 times, you pay. Now let's talk about Milton. As president of the New Hampshire Farm Museum, oh, I still have a truck. I get to bring stuff to the Milton Zone. Same exact process. You get weight going in, you get weight going out, and you pay every time. I'm proud to say that Middleton offers 2 freebies. That's good.
freebies,
But we're paying
freebies to
for
the
it.
residents, but the town pays through their taxes.
I know, we're paying.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So
Bulk,
I'm good with 2. I don't know if I'd go for more.
Excellent.
Okay, I'm just saying.
part of the contract with Waste Management was basically they can stop it if they want on weekends. Remember, there's a contract with them that we